The Galactic Council had debated humanity's application for membership for exactly 14 cycles. Ambassador Vextar of the crystalline hegemony tapped his translucent fingers against the obsidian table, the sound echoing through the vast chamber, like falling rain. "The evidence is overwhelming," Vextar declared, his voice resonating with the authority of a 1,000-year civilization. "Humans are fundamentally unstable. They leap before they look. They act on emotion rather than logic. They take risks that no rational species would consider." Counselor Jara, her blue-scaled head nodding in agreement, pulled up holographic displays of Earth's history. Observe their reckless expansion into space. While other species spent millennia perfecting their technology, humans strapped themselves to controlled explosions and hurled themselves into the void. After barely a century of powered flight, they explore anomalies that wise species avoid, added Representative Korth, his 3 eyes blinking in sequence. Black holes, unstable wormholes, rogue planets. If it's dangerous, humans investigate it first and ask questions later. The evidence was damning. Humans had discovered faster-than-light travel by accidentally creating a resonance cascade while trying to break the light barrier, an experiment that should have vaporized their entire solar system. Instead, it had torn a hole in space-time and launched them into the galactic community decades ahead of their projected timeline. Captain Sarah Chen of the human exploration vessel Defiance listened to the proceedings through her universal translator, her jaw clenched. She had been allowed to observe but not speak, a courtesy extended to the species under review. The irony wasn't lost on her that they'd named their ship Defiance long before knowing they'd need to embody that very quality. "Motion to deny humanity's membership application," Vextar announced. "All in favor?" The vote was unanimous. 14 species, representing 90% of known galactic civilization, had spoken. Chen activated her communicator. "Command, this is Chen. The Council has reached their decision. We're out." 3 months later, the universe reminded everyone why humanity's recklessness might be exactly what it needed. The first sign appeared on the edge of Council space, a distortion that bent light and twisted matter. Long-range sensors couldn't penetrate it, and it was expanding at an alarming rate. The phenomenon consumed everything in its path. Ships, stations, even entire moons simply ceased to exist. The Council convened an emergency session. Their greatest scientific minds studied the anomaly from a safe distance, running calculations and simulations. The verdict was unanimous. It was some form of exotic matter cascade, possibly from another dimension. It would consume the galaxy within 2 years. "We need more data," Vextar insisted during the emergency session. "No one approaches the anomaly until we understand its nature." "But sir," his aide whispered urgently, "the humans have already launched 3 ships toward it." The chamber fell silent. Captain Chen's voice crackled over the communication system, her ship now impossibly close to the expanding distortion. "Council control. This is the Defiance. We're reading massive gravitational shears in what appears to be inverse matter. Looks like someone's universe is leaking into ours." "Human vessel, retreat immediately," Vextar commanded. "You're violating Council space and endangering." "With respect, Ambassador," Chen interrupted. "You told us we weren't members. That makes this nobody's space." Her ship dove deeper into the anomaly's influence. "We're detecting a pattern in the distortions. It's not random, there's a rhythm to it." The human ship Audacity reported next, its captain's voice steady despite the readings showing his vessel being stretched by tidal forces. "We've identified the source. It's artificial, some kind of machine intelligence from a parallel universe, converting our matter into its own physics." "Impossible," breathed Counselor Jara. "No species would build something that dangerous." "Maybe not here," came the voice of Captain Rodriguez from the Intrepid, the 3rd human ship. "But apparently someone did there. The question is, how do we turn it off?" The Council's scientists had been working on theoretical solutions for weeks. The humans had been inside the anomaly for 6 hours. "We need to collapse the dimensional breach," Chen reported, her ship now so close to the source that her signal was barely coherent. "But it requires someone to overload their fusion," Reactors right at the convergence point. The explosion needs to be precisely timed and positioned. That's suicide, Vextar protested. Yeah, Chen agreed. Probably. But if we don't do it, everyone dies slowly instead of 3 people dying quickly. The council watched in stunned silence as the 3 human ships approached the heart of the anomaly. The distortions were so severe that their hulls were visibly stretching, yet they pressed forward. Defiance to council. Chen's voice was calm, almost serene. Tell our families. We were right to be reckless. Sometimes the universe needs someone stupid enough to run toward the impossible. The 3 ships detonated simultaneously at the anomaly's core. The explosion was visible across 12 solar systems. A brief, brilliant star that collapsed the dimensional breach and sealed the tear between universes. When the light faded, the anomaly was gone. So were the 3 human ships. The council chamber remained silent for a long moment. Finally, Vextar spoke, his voice barely above a whisper. Motion to posthumously grant humanity full membership in the Galactic Council, he announced, and to establish the Chen Rodriguez-Martinez Memorial Protocol. When the impossible threatens us all, we call the humans first. The vote was unanimous. A year later, when humanity formally joined the Council, their new ambassador arrived aboard a ship named Reckless Courage. The Council members took note of the name and, for the first time in their measured, cautious history, found themselves smiling. After all, they had learned that sometimes the galaxy needed heroes foolish enough to save everyone else.